Hello there. Welcome to whatever we're calling this show. Hello there. Welcome to SiDEQUEST. This is episode, I've lost count. Like, what is this, 22? 22, I believe? 22. Okay. So, yeah, after our little deviation from the norm with our George Lucas commentary, we're coming back to going to a singular topic and just discussing that. So, today's happens to be something quite near and dear to my heart. Mandalorian armor. So, what comes first to you guys' minds when you think of Mandalorian armor / Mandalorian whatever?
Boba Fett. Immediately thinking of that helmet. The jetpack and the cool freaking gear that he's got strapped all over his body. Looks like a walking
The armor's so cool that it spawned an entire fan base from a dude who had 5 lines and and barely did it. It's just there's a lot of factors that went into all that. You know, it's combination of him just being that freaking cool, the fact that the original Kenner action figure was so rare, and like there was that one that was promised but never released, like with the ejectable rocket fire, and then it's like, to my understanding, something like, you know, mom's complaint, no, it's gonna get shot into someone's eye. It's like, well, okay. I don't know if that's how accurate that is, but yeah, no, Mandalorian armor, Beskar'gam in Mandoa. From a in-universe perspective, I really find it fascinating how it's evolved over time. You know, if you go to the Tales of the Jedi comics, for example, you see the ancient Mandalorian Crusaders with the like bone-styled armor. It's like it's kind of left in the air whether it's actual bone or stylized bone or bone on top of metal plating or whatever, because they're said to have forged Beskar at this time. But anyway, it's a very unique. I mean, like everything in those comics, they really wanted to differentiate from the modern Star Wars setting, which, you know, I guess.
So, wait, so Tales of the Jedi is when BBY?
Well, it varies drastically, but the time I'm referring to specifically is around 4,000 BBY.
Okay, so about that. Okay, so that's awesome, because there's a set of armor like that in game, where they have bone over top of all the other Mandalorian pieces.
Yes, that was an homage to said gear from the comics. Yeah, no, I love that. You know, very aesthetically different to anything, which kind of annoyed, to my understanding at least. I was like 5, or when, to my understanding, it frustrated a lot of people when in universe 30 years later in the KOTOR game, everything seems to match movie time stuff instead of the comic aesthetic. But you know, the whole tech progression conversation is one that's been had many times here. But
what do you mean? I've never heard this.
You know, I could have sworn we talked about this on the show, or maybe it was on another podcast I was on. I don't know. Anyway, no, just the there's a lot of conversations in the fan base, or at least used to be, about how, like, yo, what's the deal with it seems technology doesn't progress over thousands of years. It all seems to remain visually the same. And it's like, well, yes and no. There are some examples of things that are completely, like, for example, let's go by space combat stuff. Warships, like, essentially double in size from that time period to the other, and then, but in a lot of cases, advancements are under the hood, so to speak. I mean, hell, there's the Hammerhead class cruiser remains in service in the Republic Navy for about 3,000 years, but that's in name and outer shell only. Under the hood, they're completely revamped and given new hyperdrives, new laser technology and whatnot.
It's like the U.S. military today. Got an Abrams tank. It's not the same as back in the 80s.
To my understanding, yeah, and it's like, well, not well, no, that's not good. Right, Mandos. So, following the early Crusader stuff, there's a intermediary time period where you see a lot of drastically individualized armor, which I'll put up on screen here, from the KOTOR comics, before they end up being a lot more uniform as a uniform regimented standard army in the Neo Crusaders, as they're called, as you see them in the KOTOR game,
which I love.
Who doesn't?
I can't.
It's and they kind of I guess they were kind of influenced by prequel media at the time, so they had the armor just like the clones, the color indicating rank. So, or maybe it was a Halo inspiration, I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, Mandalorian Neo Crusader armor
in the
rank structure matches the Sangheili/Elite rank structure from Halo, because there's blue for the newest, for the rookies, aka I think it's just private. Red for rally masters, and yellow for field marshals. So the same way, So it goes blue, red, yellow. Just like I'd find it funny if Halo, to my understanding, was everywhere at the time, so maybe there was some inspiration there. But
probably.
Yeah, look at the Republic Commando game. That is straight up just Halo in a Star Wars setting.
But that was their. It's competition, right? During the time,
Halo plus Rainbow Six, I should say.
The multiplayer was the only bad thing about Republic Commando. I'm sorry, the multiplayer was not good. It just wasn't.
By the time I got it was the servers were dead, so I wouldn't know. I'm afraid.
I just played it sadly with my brothers, and of course my brothers were always more competent than me. So, moving past that. Well, let's talk about the armor. Let's go.
Getting back to it.
We'll talk about you now. Take yourself out of the chair as the man behind the desk with the computer and the keyboard, and put yourself back in the forge. And talk to us now about your armor. Even if you have to, I know we're not on camera, but you could go grab your armor and then you could talk about it and touch it, and that way you have different perspective. It would be good for the audience. You have a legitimate.
Sure. So for those who don't know, yes, I have a full set of replica Beskar'gam. It'll be on screen now. One of the things I am proudest of in life. Keeps away all the women. No. I've put so much time and effort into this. And not to... I'm a member of the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club, which is what it says right on the name. People just get together and build armor and go to cons and charity stuff and whatever. It's fantastic. But beyond that, so how I did that, it's a lot easier nowadays than it used to be if you're at all interested. With the rapid advancement of 3D printing technology, you know, even compared to 5 years back, like things have gotten so much more affordable and advanced. It's.
Can we talk about? And I love 3D printing. I think 3D printing is like awesome. Like you can make a helmet, like a clone trooper helmet, in, you know, so many days, and it's perfectly the proportions that you need for your head and all that. I think that's cool. I also think that just forging your own stuff is cool, and learning to use tools in that manner, and just having raw material with your hand and then bending it to your, you know, design and all that kind of stuff. It'll make you feel. And maybe not. I don't know. I guess I've never 3D printed any kind of piece of armor for myself, so I guess I don't know if I'd be attached to it in the same way. I guess my helmet, quote unquote, would be 3D. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
you're
buddy.
fine. Yeah, no, it's in my case at least. My only 3D printed part are my fan braces, not gauntlets, fan braces. Some absolute mad lads have full metal, and I hope to upgrade to that someday. But in my case, I made mine out of a material called Sintra, which is you can easily, you know, just use a box cutter to cut out and then use a heat gun to shape to your body, and it's the go-to for most Mando cosplayers nowadays. Because it has better rigidity than like EVA foam, and it will fall apart after neglect like that.
Oh, man, you guys still use acrylic? I thought you guys were using like acrylic.
Sintra is a lightweight yet rigid board of moderately expanded closed cell polyvinyl chloride extruded in a homogeneous sheet with a low gloss matte finish. Rating that right off the. No, it's PVC basically.
Can it survive a axe blow?
No.
If there were two.
Plastic will not hold up to a metal weapon. Now, I've seen people with actual aluminum or bronze, or there's one absolute madman. Look up Dresden Akashin. He looks like a Mando, like Terminator. I don't even know how to put him into words. I'll put him on screen. He can only be in armor for maximum 45 minutes because it's like heavier than like. But
I'm gonna have to send you the recipe then. I'm gonna have to send you a schematic. I'll have to send you a schematic. For PVC, it's whatever. It's acrylic. You just go to the. Of course, I got lucky and I worked for Bath Fitter for a time, and Bath Fitter's acrylic was fantastic. So I got a couple sheets of that for free. But you can go to Lowe's and you can get the same kind of stuff or close to it. As long as you have double to triple layers of it in one, you know, plate, it's pretty surprising how much of a, you know, blunt force to a sharp force, even with an incredible amount of force behind it, it can take. Survives
at less than 6 millimeters.
You know the stuff that plane windows are made of?
Yes.
It's so trust me. It takes. So if you the top layer would take the blow, and then that's where your blade would probably stop. Is between that. I can't
say I've ever stabbed a plane window, so.
Anyway, one day it's going to be, and I really want to meet that guy. You said you want a full armor set, like full metal set. I want a full metal set too, except I want that guy to make it. What's his name? I can't remember. The guy who does all of the shows, and he's fantastic. I can't remember his name.
Well, yeah, we talked not on the show, but yes, I am. If you know the show on YouTube, Man at Arms, I know one of the guys there, Bill / well, I'm not gonna dox him, but he does phenomenal stuff, including Metal Mando armor. So once I save up enough, I'm definitely commissioning him. But anyway, My yeah, I'm quite proud of what I've got here with the drip, as they say. But so yes, this my style at least is the quote unquote modern. Most people don't actually know the proper name for it. It is in several sources referred to as shock trooper armor, distinct from the early armor, as it has less coverage but allows for more agility and momentum, and because for aerial troops, with jetpacks and whatever, that's something to be appreciated.
Why is the Iron Heart important?
Oh, the Kata Beskar is I mean, it's a symbol seen everywhere in culture. There's a lot of fanon ideas as to what it means, but there's never been any official. But I mean,
do you think that comes from the Zhao, or do you think that? Sorry, not the Zhao. The
Tong.
Yes, the Tong. Do you think that comes from the Tong, or do you think that's a human influence from later on when they started to?
I don't believe that symbol has been seen during Tong times.
So more of a influence during the time where they were assimilating into the Mandalorian culture.
Yeah, that's a good question actually, because I
it's
don't say that
fascinating
often here. But
you see it all the time. It's like you said, you see it on all of their, throughout the different, and there's different, like you said, like there's the whatever this set through this century and this century, but they all have that. And I just, for some reason, like I want to figure out what it is behind that that's so important. Where did it come from?
There's
why
no
it's
official meaning behind it. It's
well, then that's disappointing. That's rather disappointing.
Because I mean, there's even the Kal knife, which is in that shape as well, which I have an example of. I'll put on screen.
Isn't the knife important though for like your upbringing? Like you get the knife as a child, and that's like your first weapon.
Where have you heard that? That's fanon.
Oh come on, no, it's not. Din Djarin got his knife like that, right? Even in the stuff in Karen Travis, she talks about that with the knife that what's his name gets.
Well, I mean, Kal Skirata's named after a knife, but that's where he got his Mando name from.
I thought that his father gave him that triple-bladed knife or whatever he gives him.
Yes, but that's not a.
That's not a
standardized thing.
Well, you know what? I bet it is now because she kind of painted it that way. Maybe that was her intent. We don't know. It could be in her intent. So nobody's ever picked up on that as maybe that is a part of a Mandalorian, tradition that nobody's thinking about, but the passing on of a knife to the next generation, and that's like your first weapon / your first...
bro, that's fanon.
You know what? Well, if it's not out there, hold on. If it's not out there and it's not on the internet, right? If it's not a part of Wikipedia and it can't be found, then it could be that was her intent. And I mean, technically, everybody hails her writings as, fantastic and wonderful and true, and, to the point where everybody, accepts them as that's the story. So it could be that was her intent. Now, just because she doesn't lay that out there, I mean, George Lucas doesn't necessarily lay out word for word different ideas that happen throughout the plot.
That's just extrapolation. There's no.
It's called romancing the story and finding the deeper points that you can then take and you can make new content out of. I'm just trying to sit there and I'm trying to look at every little angle of that story and be like, man, that looks good, or that looks good, and that just, it sticks with me. And it's been like 6 years or 7 years since I'd read the book, but I remember that, like, because I was like I was digging throughout the clone stuff. Like I had enough of the clones, like already. Like I was getting tired of but I wanted the Mandalorian stuff. I wanted the Mandalorian culture. So every time that came up in her stories, I was just entranced by it. And I remember the stuff about the knife, and you see the knife. I mean, they make it clear in the Mandalorian that he has a knife. Is that not like, if they're getting all of their source material from somewhere when they're thinking about making these shows, they're pulling all that stuff? And certainly Dave was sitting there and like, oh well, yeah. I mean, I remember reading Karen Travis's book, and you got this knife, and that's kind of like your first and your last weapon. And so then, the next thing you know, they've got a knife, and like when he's about to kill the Mudhorn, or Mudhorn's about to kill him, he's like, my knife is like my last defense.
Bro, I'm sorry.
You're not being romantic about it. It's fine. Let's move on. Okay, so art. Let's talk about the technical capacities of like a helmet and how that interacts with the rest of the armor. So in reality, that's what I would like to do. I would like to go get a GoFundMe page or something like that for like the mercs, but we get like a real suit of armor. And that's how you go to like birthday parties and stuff and surprise all these kids, or like go to stuff and like get people to come, and on Moss is you have a real working suit of armor. It's like Iron Man, but not really. It's just a normal guy. He's got a helmet that can be air, compressed and sealed tight and all that kind of stuff. And there are guys out there that are smart enough to do that. And certainly all that kind of stuff's already been created for levels of society that we're not a part of. But in order to just do it where you could, inspire people and all that kind of stuff, wouldn't that be cool? So
that's
do you know much?
What we already do. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, talk to me about. I mean, I don't know, buddy. I don't know the mercs. Like, I'm just
okay.
an unseasoned.
What do you mean in regards to, like, in terms of like a helmet, like functionality with some people have Bluetooth. I've seen phenomenal things like this one girl I saw. She has a Bo-Katan thing where, so from inside her helmet she can activate this Bluetooth thing that will make her jetpack like have the bottom start glowing and let out steam and whatnot. I'll see if I can find that video.
Real jet for one of you guys to have that'll get you some lift, like, and to have somebody that quote unquote ballsy to actually put that thing on and like do it. And
in terms of real life jetpacks, even the least bulky of all, they're still
I know
huge. and like it's more of a exo.
Boy, AI. You say AI, I'm going to buy you, and I'm not going to abuse you, but I need your help building a rocket for my back. And then you get everybody. So that's the kind of stuff that would be helpful, though. Is taking a process that would otherwise cost so many trillions and trillions of dollars. Then at the same time, is that art? I consider it art because it's on a technical level, so maybe that's bad. That's where the AI.
Though that does actually remind me. We keep going back to Halo. There's a guy. There's a YouTuber, Installation 00. He is making a full set of Mjolnir Mark 6 armor from Halo. Out of actual titanium, like with the full, every single piece of real functionality. That I highly recommend checking him out. With everything that isn't complete sci-fi, like energy shields or a micro fission generator, but everything that is possible with current technology he's doing, which I find wow. So doing that for I guess doing that for a Mando would be, damn, that would be cool. I've seen a handful of people mount actual flamethrowers, but to van braces, which is, damn. I need.
How does that work? How are you able to do that at a show?
Not at a show, God no. But like you no, you can't bring that to a con or whatever. But no, like I've just seen videos. But yeah,
That's why we're here.
that's why we're here. So we're coming close to half an hour. And to pirouette the conversation a little bit. That's not the right word. To segue. You mentioned before the show that you'd like to talk a little about where just the show and Theostar Group as in general are going for the rest of the year. So I give this
Yes.
to you.
So one of the things you guys will hear soon is a adaptation that we're doing audio for KOTOR. So the KOTOR graphic novel. So you guys
The KOTOR comics specifically.
What? It's graphic novel. Is that not a good word to use?
Oh, I couldn't hear that. I just heard KOTOR. So people
Am
could
I
have
mumbling?
confused it with the game.
Well, my father used to shame me all the time, so I guess that's fitting. He used to say, "You're mumbling," and so hold on, wait,
Right,
yeah. So
every day I'm mumbling.
As some Raptor has said it, and that's what we're doing. That's one of the things you guys will be seeing here soon. But the really cool thing that we're trying to get accomplished is we're trying to get another 20 YouTube personalities, pretty much around the same caliber that we are, together by the end of the year to work on a very ambitious project that has been put together by Theostar Group and then by other groups as well. And so as of right now, I think we're at 3. So I think we're looking at trying to get another 20. So 23 YouTube personalities, all within the range of 500 to 1,000 views per video that gets put out by each of the artists. We would like to partner with you. We would like to work on a project that's extremely ambitious, that spans, I guess you would say, the entirety of the Star Wars universe. So much like supernatural encounters and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we've got a lot of cool stuff that we would like to bring to the table.
About this because I have no idea what you're talking about.
That you do, but that's okay. Maybe that's because we're on the air. I don't know, but yeah, anyway. So to everybody out there listening, if you guys know anybody that's talented in the form of writing or the form of directing or the form of, animation or whatever, music. Hey, I've met some good ones. I can't say that, but if you are interested in the arts and you are, out there and you're like, oh man, I'd like to be involved in a project that's got Star Wars, from head to toe. Well, come on down. That's all I'll say. Get in contact with Wizard Studios, and then from there I'll introduce you, and then we'll introduce you to the rest of the group. And then some Raptors just being modest, which is, just like his character. That's why he works with us, and that's why I work for him. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, come on down. Anyway, we're done here. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's go.
We're done.
I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, as always, dear viewers, may the Force be with you always.